Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I decided to do some reaction videos while I'm fighting the good fight, trying to get my Amazon account back, which probably will never happen. But this guy right here, his name is Miles. He has a guru. He's like a guru. He's got one of those online courses and all that stuff. Um, I'm gonna play some of his video here and kind of make some commentary as we go along. See what he has to say.
If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Miles. I'm a 25-year-old seven-figure Amazon seller on a mission to help as many of you guys as possible build a side hustle or business of your dreams this year. The first mistake I made when learning Amazon FBA was choosing the wrong business model. Back when I got started in 2019, online arbitrage wasn't really a thing. Really, the only options were used books, wholesale, or private label. And I didn't have much capital, so I had to get started with used books with just a couple $100.
Everyone gets started with
Used books, however, takes a ton of time and it's really, really hard to scale. And luckily, with what happened in 2020, Amazon really created the online arbitrage business model and let everyday people like you and I sell big name brand products from home like Nike, Adidas, and Lego.
I don't think there's anything wrong with starting with books. I mean, I feel like everybody starts with books. I mean, you have to start somewhere. And books is always the best way to start. It helps you learn Amazon and learn, the ins and outs. I mean, Amazon is a difficult platform to sell on because you never know what's going to happen. And you never know what's going to be rejected or accepted or where you're going to get complaints. So I feel like, books is a good place to start. But he's right. It is hard to scale. Books are hard to scale.
The ungating process, which luckily now is easy for all of us watching, didn't really used to be a thing. So that meant as a beginner Amazon seller, really all you could sell was used books, and there wasn't much potential with online or retail arbitrage, and you had to go directly with wholesale to be able to sell name brand products. Luckily, that isn't the case anymore, but I still see tons of beginners want to get started with the really expensive and complicated models like private label of buying products from China, where you have to create your own brand, create the listings, take pictures of the product, wait for it to arrive from China. And that just takes a ton of time and is really expensive. Or wholesale, where you have to cold call and cold email suppliers and place really big minimum order quantities, which takes a ton of capital.
True and false. There's a lot of wholesalers out there that don't have minimums. There's always the basic wholesalers like EE Distribution and Alliance Games that a lot of people use. And I mean, they have like very low, I think they started having minimums, but they're very low, $500, I think. And they're very easy to sign up with. It's a great place to use to get ungated. So wholesale is definitely the safe way to go for sure, because then when those complaints do come in, and they will, trust me, you need that correct documentation. So I feel like, wholesale, there's nothing wrong with wholesale.
Instead, by far the most simple and easy route that takes a lot less startup capital is online arbitrage. Working from home to find profitable name brand products like Nike, Adidas, and Lego on big websites like Kohl's, Walmart, and Target that have proven sales history that you don't need to create a listing for.
I paid for his course because I wanted to learn more about online arbitrage. I knew I was doing something wrong and I couldn't, unlock it like I wanted to. So I joined his course, and I justified it by saying, I spent more on less, which I had. So his course costs, you ready now? $4,000 to join his course. And it's not just a course. It's you're getting into like a community type of a setting where there's a lot of people trying to do the same thing. And so you can share opinions and share products and, stuff like that. So you can get advice from other people, not just from him. He has a crew. He's got a couple of guys that work with him. They do lives like 3 times a week in this course. But honestly, after a while, the lives are just kind of the same thing where they just do online arbitrage for like an hour and that's it. And it's good. I mean, it's a good play. It's a good way to learn, but was it worth $4,000? No, definitely not.
That you don't need to run ads for, that you don't need to take pictures of, and that you don't have to place big initial wholesale orders for. You can literally just start out buying just a couple of units, and that reduces it before and I'll say it again.
Skip ahead
By
a little
far,
bit.
the number one key to Amazon online arbitrage product research is being able to leverage discounts and get your buy costs lower than your competitors. There's a bunch of different ways to get buy costs lower. Another way is going to be evergreen coupon codes that typically come in the form of account or text signups that just pretty much just pop up when you click around on a different website. It's really important to understand that every website has some sort of discount mechanism or multiple that you can use. Another one's going to be hidden coupon codes you typically find just on Google, clicking around, Googling like Foot Locker coupons, for example, or asking customer service. A lot of people won't take the time to do this, but the people that do.
So let's get into some of the details when he was talking about like the discounts from the websites. So here's what he won't tell you, even if you ask. They won't tell you that he uses a distribution center, okay, or a prep center. I'm sorry, he uses a prep center for his products. So he'll buy a ton of stuff off of Kohl's, have it sent over to the prep center. Prep center sends it into Amazon. Okay, good system. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm telling you the good with the bad here. So the good is the prep centers are good. There's some websites that let you buy whatever you want, as much as you want, and send it wherever you want. Okay. The bad is what he's not telling you is that there's some websites that will not allow you to do that. So if you go to the ones that I know off the top of my head that'll work are Kohl's. Kohl's is one of them. And Kohl's is great to leverage their Kohl's Cash. But then there's websites like Under Armour and Hibbett City Gear and, you know, a lot of these other direct websites. And like for Under Armour, I'm banned for life. I can never buy anything ever again from underarmour.com, period, because they've labeled me as a reseller. So now I can never buy from them again, period. They don't care. I tried to buy one t-shirt and have it sent to my house and it was canceled. And they said, oh, you're a reseller. We won't sell to you ever again. So you have the potential. And Dick's is like that too, by the way, which he mentioned Dick's a couple of times. Dick's is like that too. So I can't buy from Dick's online anymore either. And they don't tell you that. Even in the course, you're asking, you hear people saying, I got banned from this site. I got banned from that site. You know what his answer is? His answer is to use this program. I forgot what it's called, but it's a program that generates different emails. And so you can generate these other emails, and that email is like a spoof, and it'll go to your email instead. And it'll trick the system into thinking that it's not you. And then you'll sign up as a new user and you'll get a new user discount of like 10% or 20%. So, and he does this over and over and over and over on the same website. So he'll make this fake email, get a 20% discount as a new user, but that fake email goes to his real email and he gets that coupon in his email, and then he uses it to buy stuff. So, and that's just a psych. It's just constantly, and I didn't like that. I just didn't like the scam. That part was a scam. I didn't like scamming those websites. I just didn't like it. So, but the good I'll say is that, like I mentioned, Kohl's is one of them. Another thing he tells you to leverage is like a thing like Rakuten, where you get like 2% cash back or whatever cash back from that site on top of whatever sale you were getting. So I mean, at one point I got like $1,000 check in the mail from Rakuten. So doing that. So it's not all bad. It's just like I feel like he doesn't give you all the facts. The other thing is that once in a while he'll send you a what do you call it? He'll send you an email with a product, like a direct link to a product on a website. So let's say it's Kohl's and there's like these Nike socks, and then he'll send you another link with the ASIN. So he'll say, okay, these are on sale at Kohl's for $10. They're selling on Amazon for $25 under this ASIN. Buy as many as you can and send them in, and you'll make money. And he does that once in a while. And so I did that with these socks. Okay. The other problem with online arbitrage is that you have to match this product exactly to the product that's on Amazon. And sometimes that's difficult to do because they don't have UPC codes on these websites. They don't have ASINs on these websites. You have to like look at the picture and zoom in and try to see, is it the right thing? Is the fabric the same? And if is the logo in the right spot? And if anything is off, then it's not the same product. So it's super difficult to do that. And he sends me a product like this, and I do it. I do what he says because he's the expert. He's making $1 million a month, so or whatever. And so I do it, and the socks start coming back and coming back, and then Amazon shuts down the listing because there's too many returns. And I find out that this sock, these particular socks are Nike, but they're a lower quality. Nike has different things. So this particular pair of socks was a lower quality than the pair of socks that I listed it, that he had me listed under. And I called him out on it, and he got all pissed off. And he says, well, I do it all the time and nothing ever happens. And I'm like, well, it's not exactly right though, is it? So I got jammed up on that, and that should have been my red flag to stop and get out of there. But I did meet some good people on there, and I learned a lot. I still learned a lot. Okay. I still learned a lot. The other thing is that Seller Amp, SAS, that app for Amazon products, he was either a co-creator, or he owns a lot of stock in it, or owns a portion of the company, or whatever the case. He's very, very, very invested in that app. Okay. Not a bad thing. That's a good thing. The app is great. I'm not going to lie. The app is great. I used it a lot because it combined a lot of the other things that other apps did, like Keepa, and even Amazon itself, and all these other things. And it kind of combined them, so into one app. And it was good. I'm not going to lie. It's a good app. I'd still use it. I would recommend that you use it. But, keep in mind that, he has a controlling interest in that app. So I think he uses his platform to get that app out there a lot more. But so he uses that app all the time on his website, which is totally fine. It works. But the other thing is that you have to make sure that when you're doing online arbitrage, that you need to know that you could potentially get banned from a website for buying products. You'd never be allowed to buy products from this website again. There's a handful that don't care, like I said. Later on, he sent me another product, which is the Nike hood, which you've heard me talk about, which is actually the product that got my account shut down, which is kind of part of why I'm making this video. But he sent that to me, and it was from Hibbett City Gear, which I was banned from buying from them ever again after this. And so I bought, he sent me the link, sent me this, sent me that. So I bought it, and, without looking, it turns out that I was buying a version 4.0, and I was listing it. He had me listed under the version 3.0. And after I had already sent it in, I pointed, and they were selling, but I pointed this out to him, and he's like, well, you're just offering people a higher quality product for a lower price. And I was like, well, I guess, but I don't know. It didn't seem right. But anyway, that's where my complaint came in, and it all just went downhill from there. I don't need to get into it again. But so, after that, I just, I reached out to him, and in the public forum, I said, hey, this happened to my account. Can you help me out? Oh, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll give you a call. And then in private, he ignores you. So, and, he's going to say what he's going to say. It doesn't matter what he says, to be honest. It's my fault. I'm the one who should have, I should have been more cautious. I should have done more research. But, like I said, I'm going to say the good with the bad. The good is he's right on, buying stuff in bulk and on online arbitrage and sending it to these prep centers. It all works very well. You can get a business credit card, and that works very well. The Kohl's Cash works very well. The TJ Maxx rewards work very well. All that, a lot of that works very well. He just doesn't, he doesn't give you the negative about any of it. You know, it's like you just find out for yourself as you're going along. And I even seen people in the chats and stuff say, "Oh, well, this site banned me," and they're like, "Oh yeah, oh well, you know that happens." And you know, and multiple people had asked, "Hey, I want a list. Give us a list of websites that will ban you, you know, so you can be more cautious or just not use them." And they never did it. They wouldn't do it. So, you know, it's just, you have to just be cautious when you're doing online arbitrage. There's really nothing wrong with it. It's just that it's difficult to match the products. You can and will get banned from certain websites, from, you know, companies from buying their products. And, you know, if the product doesn't match, you're going to end up having a big problem. You know, you're going to get accused of it being counterfeit. You're going to get your listing taken down. You know, you're going to have to start jumping through hoops and providing documentation to Amazon, and we all know how that goes. So, you know, just be cautious. You know, I'm not saying he's a scam. He's not a scam. He's really not a scam. I'll say that I feel like the course is too much, and I feel like they just don't give you all the information because I think he's afraid to scare you away. They want to keep you. So, you know, just keep all that in mind. Ask other people. I should have asked more people about online arbitrage before I jumped in, but I was trying to scale my business. You know, any kind of retail arbitrage is hard to scale. You know, physically going to these stores every day, it's hard to scale that. And I feel like, you know, online arbitrage can be scaled faster because now you have the whole web to search for products, you know, and, you know, you just have to be, the other thing you have to keep in mind is that a lot of these websites, like if you've run across a website you've never heard of and they're selling Nikes for a good price, they could be selling fakes and you'd never know it until it got to Amazon and someone called you out on it, you know, because if you're sending it to a prep center, you're never going to see it. So you're not going to know. So, you know, those are just things you have to keep in mind. That's all I'm trying to say. Let's see what else
I was really, really well connected. I was having a lot of fun. I was doing merchant fulfilled, and I feel like I totally did this stuff the right way as a beginner, especially once I got started with online arbitrage. So I was
I
comfortable
miss
using
retail
leverage,
arbitrage.
but
I'm
you
not going to
need to
lie.
gauge your own risk tolerance. Now, in terms of my favorite credit cards for Amazon FBA during the scaling process, the Amex Business Blue is my favorite option for beginners that has a 0% APR. The Capital One Spark card with the 2%
The
cash
Spark is a
back
good
is
one.
absolutely fire for big
I got
limits and
the
cash back.
American
And then
Express
the
Plum
Amex
card.
Plum card is the best for scaling with the 60-day payback period.
He just
But
said this
remember,
Plum
my
card. That's
friends,
the one I got.
only use leverage at your own risk because it totally can mess up your business if you're not using it correctly and don't have a proven system. And number 10 is going to be taking shortcuts. I hate when I see new sellers breaking Amazon's rules, thinking they're going to be able to skirt it forever, or using fraud shipping labels from some of the scam shipping label providers online, or trying to buy off leads list, or like I said, you know, hiring VAs from day one. You got to understand this is a process. It's going to take time. You're going to take mistakes. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Don't skirt Amazon's rules. Don't be screwing over customers, undercutting FBM shipping weights. So you
It's funny that he says don't be screwing over Amazon customers when he's the one who sent me lower grade products to list on higher grade listings. But um, he's right about the credit cards. He's right that it takes time. It it's a business and you have to grow it and you have to cultivate it, and you know you have to build up a reputation, and you know everything starts slow. You know, you're not, he admitted himself he started in 2014 or something like that, you know. So, and it took him this long to get where he is, and that's what it takes. You have to make those mistakes and you have to learn for yourself, and there is no shortcut. You know, you can take tips from other people. That's not a shortcut. It's different.
pay less, it's just not going to work out long term. You want to build a sustainable online arbitrage business, retail arbitrage business, wholesale business. If you're serious about quitting your 9 to 5 or making $100,000 plus profit a year with the stuff, don't take shortcuts that are too good to be true, might be against the rules, or that you know are against the rules. And make sure you're talking to other sellers in the community and not getting scammed by Telegram wholesalers that if you just ask someone, you would easily be able to say, oh, that's a scam. Don't do it. And that, my friends, is the top 10 mistakes to avoid when learning Amazon FBA.
Yeah, he mentioned it a little bit. Like I said, don't be buying from websites you don't recognize. Don't buy from wholesalers that seem like it's too good to be true. Um, and the websites are the same way. So, I feel like you don't necessarily have to get into his course to learn online arbitrage on your own. It's not that hard, really. Um, I picked up on it pretty quick. I just I wish now that I had just done a little bit more instead of just blind. My problem is that I blindly followed him when he said do this and do that and list this and list that, and I was like, all right, great, great, yeah, all right, cool, thanks for the lead and all that stuff, and then the next thing I'm in trouble. So that's what I recommend. There's really a handful of websites that don't care how much stuff you buy or where you send it, but there's a lot more websites that will ban you and label you as a reseller. And I've even tried to reverse it. I've called Under Armour because I do buy stuff from there for myself. I've called Under Armour and they're like, "Nope, you've been labeled a reseller, so you're banned. Go to the store and buy it." That's what they told me. Go to the store. So, you know, and I mean, even and same with Dick's Sporting Goods too. So, you know, take it for what it is. Take my advice. Don't take my advice. And I want to be clear, closing out my video here is that, I'm not talking crap about this guy. He's built up quite a thing, honestly. Like I said, he has a controlling interest in the Seller Amp app, which is great, and the app is great. He's done very well with online arbitrage himself, and he's done well showing other people how to do online arbitrage. All true, all of it is true. I felt like, at least when I was involved in it, that I wasn't given all the facts sometimes. Maybe not, probably not intentional, but just I'm just putting my opinion out there about the whole thing. So you can take it for what it is. And I thank you for watching my video. And I'm going to start posting a little bit more videos. Even if I don't get my account back, I'm going to still go out and show you some deals that you can find to put on Amazon. And I'm not going to give up. I thought about letting it go, but I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to keep trying. So hang in there. Don't let anything get you down. Get back to work and make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks.